like with the cold, like
But that didn't stop you from running and leaving. And then who damaged the door frame?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 007649, State of Texas versus Carlos David Teniente Jr. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Zach Dunn for the state.
for the defense?
Rene Munoz.
And are you Mr. Teniente?
Yes, Your Honor.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, see, he winked at me when I said it. So it's like, yay, maybe I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Correct, Judge.
All right, counsel, have you received all of the discovery in this case?
Yes, Judge, I have.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Abrams, this is an application. Sir, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family, a class A misdemeanor.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Did you review the documents entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, family choking, strangulation to assault, bodily injury, family as a class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family. Punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. State recommends community supervision, and there's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
That's correct.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you
Yes.
sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years and there be no harmful or injurious contact with the complainant. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers states 1 and attachments.
No objection.
All right, and state, I know you have to leave to
Yes,
go
Your
to
Honor.
the other court. Have you had a chance to speak with the complainant?
Have, Your Honor. They've made it clear their lack of interest in cooperating with the district attorney's office.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
On behalf of my client, Judge, we did tender an affidavit non-prosecution notarized document to the state. It's also been uploaded in Odyssey, but we have a copy for the court, should the court be inclined as well. Yes, ma'am, of course. It's our understanding she didn't want to testify. She didn't want any part of the proceedings. My client hasn't been arrested within the last, at least within the last 4 years. And even then, it was something nonviolent. My client and I have gone through the chain of events that led him to being here and what things could have been done differently. We believe an anger management, stress management class will help him identify stressors that if he's dealing with a certain situation, he can always remove himself from that, de-escalate, and find a healthy avenue for his stressors, Judge. He's asking for the chance to be successful on this probation. I asked him if he had any mental health diagnosis or issues. He said he's never been diagnosed with any mental health illnesses. Also asked him about the extent of his substance use. He stated to me the last time he used was about 10 years ago, as in his early 20s, of marijuana. Even in looking to the videos of the body worn camera, it's asked of the complaining witness if drug or alcohol is involved. He said no, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't do alcohol. Just it was a kind of verbal altercation that spiraled a little bit out of control, Judge. But we've been able to identify the things that have led him to being here. He's willing to be supervised if the court would entertain that, and he'll abide by all the conditions this honorable court sets, Judge. It's my belief that he can be successful on this and contribute to society instead of being a detriment to society, Judge. I feel that with this opportunity, he can run with it, and I firmly believe we won't be seeing him here sitting in the gallery in orange and chains, Judge. So he's ready and willing to take this opportunity to change his life around and not constantly re-enter the criminal justice system and be a recidivist. He knows what he has to do, and he's willing to do it to make things right, Judge.
All right, so all of this started over toothpaste.
You can answer.
Yes.
What was it about the toothpaste?
I'm lost. What do you mean?
So she's looking at the office report. She thinks that the cops were called because of audio over toothpaste.
In the police report, it says that all of this started over toothpaste. So what was the issue with toothpaste?
Don't remember.
I don't remember it being about the toothpaste, but I just know we did argue.
Well, it says that you were married. Victim stated that suspect got upset and an argument began over a toothpaste and how the victim is not caring for you while you're ill. So what was it about toothpaste?
I honestly don't remember the toothpaste situation.
Well, what was the argument about?
I know I was sick, and honestly, I remember being hungry. There was no food. She wasn't cooking.
Well, I mean, you're an
Yeah.
adult. People don't
Yeah.
have to cook for you,
No, yeah, I know. It was dumb.
but you were not ill enough.
No,
That didn't
I was
stop
with
you
the
from
fever.
running.
I had a fever. I was cold, like with the cold. Like
But that didn't stop you from running and leaving. And then who damaged the door frame?
I did, Your Honor.
And who's paying for that?
I don't know. I will though.
He's willing to pay restitution for that, Judge.
Well, it's gonna come out of the household account because,
Yeah, yes, Judge. I understand.
are you employed?
Right now, no.
What did you do before you were taken in custody?
I was doing landscaping. I was doing my tree business. I got business cards that I was passing out and everything. Yeah, I got my mom to go to, you know. I know I can't have contact with Jody Bettis.
Mhm. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. 1 year in the Bear County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, the BIPP course, 80 hours of community service restitution. I'm gonna require parenting classes. Once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. Then at probation's discretion, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors, and there's to be no contact with Jolie Perez. I'll consider changing that if she presents herself and also once he started on the BIPP course.
Understood, Judge. Thank you.
And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And that I'll reconsider once he started working on parenting.
Very well, Judge.
And is Child Protective Services involved or no?
To my understanding, Judge, I have not heard anything. It's my understanding that the children are exclusively with the mother. But in terms of anything coming to fruition about any investigations relating to him, I'm unaware of, Judge.
All right, and we'll do CPS compliance if applicable. All right, is there anything else that you need from the court to be successful in this probation?
No, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you have children, the way you communicate, that's how they're going to end up communicating. Now, this child that you have, you may think they're too young, but usually they're not too young to understand what's going on. When you do these things, guess what children think? Maybe you have a daughter, guess what she thinks? If a guy loves you, then he'll hit on you. If he doesn't hit on you, then that maybe mean he doesn't love you because my dad tells me he loves my mom and he's being abusive towards her. If you have a son, maybe they'll think this is how you show love. And then maybe they may think might makes right. And that's how they problem solve. So if you don't want your children to be where you are or end up in toxic relationships, then you had better start changing your ways. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes. Court is calling Nightback number 760-281, 765-206, 765-205, 738-374, State versus Michael Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
for the defense?
Charles Bunk for Mr. Michael Rodriguez.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez? Lo and behold, another diamond. You know, everybody has the diamond tattoos and they are symbols, they say, of children. All right. What is your diamond a symbol of?
Peace and unity, happy.
Oh, peace, unity, and children. All right. I think we know. Okay. So you are here to have a bond set in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, Your Honor. We filed motions and I've tendered them to the court. I've conferred with the state and
All right. So, Mr. Rodriguez, can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you were released today, where would you be living?
At my grandfather's house.
Well, did you pick up the phone and ask your grandfather if you can live there?
I was there. He has Parkinson's and I was helping him there before when I got this warrant. And I got picked up. I didn't even know I had a warrant for one of those. I was paying my payments and stuff.
So the answer to my question is no.
Yes, ma'am. I've talked to him. My stuff is there.
No. My question to you is,
No, ma'am.
did you pick up the phone and ask him if you could stay with him?
No.
All right, so where will you be staying? Do you have a place other than there to stay?
My mother's,
Have you called her and asked her if you can live with her?
no, ma'am. I didn't know. No, ma'am.
You can't just say you're living with somebody if you haven't asked them.
No, I was living with my grandfather, my stuff's there, my clothes, my truck, my dog, all my personal things. Like I said, I've been taking him to his doctor's appointments on Thursdays. I get up and cook for him. I stay there at that house. I have my room there.
Well, based upon one of your charges, and I don't take any of it as true, I don't think that's a great place for you to stay.
Okay.
What is your mother? And I'm sorry, what is his name?
Excuse
What is his name?
me? Charlie Martin.
And with regards to your mother, does she have any health issues?
No, ma'am.
And are you employed or your employment was just helping him?
Yes, ma'am. I also do plumbing. I'm a plumber.
Do you have a license?
I have to go to Austin and get it. I have my hours.
So the answer is,
I have my apprentice.
but you don't have a license.
I also do lock work.
What do you mean you do lock work?
Locksmith. I was doing a pipeline. I was working for a Salo construction, installing fire hydrants and sewage drains, the main drains,
And you said it's 3225?
325 Regina Street.
325.
Ah, okay. All right. And have you ever used any drugs in the past?
When I was younger, man,
What?
marijuana and I said I didn't take no pills, just marijuana and drank beer and cocaine when I was in my eighth.
And what else?
That's
So
it.
we have marijuana, beer, cocaine, what else?
That's it.
Have you ever been diagnosed with mental health issues?
No, ma'am.
And how far did you go in school?
11 and a half when I got my GD.
Okay. All right. So it appears that you all have come to an agreement on bond amounts. So in a NIGHTMAC number ending in 281, your agreement is for $7,500 bond. Are you asking for any added conditions?
No, Judge, well, the state always requests GPS tracking at least.
All right. Can anyone tell me what is the offense dates for these cases?
Yes, these.
281, I'm sorry, NIMAX 760281.
760281,
Mhm.
off of the state, looks like April 12th, 2024.
And then 765206.
765206, Judge.
Yes.
That is off of the state of May 14th, 2020.
And then 7652205. And then 738,374. NIGHTMAX 738374. And then in the cause number ending in 206, you all have agreed to $5,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in cause number 205, you all have agreed to $20,000.
Yes.
And cause number 374, you all have agreed to $4,500.
Yes.
All right, I will follow your agreement, but in each cause number, the court is going to order GPS. State, do you want full GPS or partial for employment?
Judge, we're okay with tracking.
Okay, so GPS tracking, I'll ask that fees are waived and you're not allowed to reside at the address on Regina Street or with Charlie Martin. And that's in each cause number. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state.
Nothing from the defense judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. John Ruben Magianis. John Ruben Magianis. All right, just have it. Who's the attorney?
I'm going into the regular training on this. He's out of the county, so.
Okay. All right, state on, this is a motion to set bond.
It is, Judge. Yes, Judge.
Have you run his SID number?
Yes, Judge.
All right,
Because it was a rear arrest.
okay. But is he also Mark Dominique Montez or no?
That didn't pop up. I can double check.
All right, if you could double check, because that's what's coming up here. Have you ever been known as Dominique?
No.
All right, if you have a seat, they're gonna look this up and then we'll bring you back up.
Thank you, Judge.
It's not popping up.
It's not popping up for you? Yeah, just give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Freddie Gallardo. So my understanding is acknowledgement of discovery is due.
Well, council still has to view the forensic, but I know they sent an email to the people that set that up. We made an offer
Just
today.
one second. Excuse me, everyone. Whisper like you're spies and you're trying not to get caught. Thank you. Yes.
So I think discovery is in good order, because we have the forensic and, council of course can view that whenever they have a moment. We tendered an offer today, a preliminary starting offer, if you will. And that's where we are with the case, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Freddie Gallardo, if I can have a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date, please. All right, we'll be back on October 1st. Thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court, but you always do. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
October 1st is a vacation day for me. Can I move it just like 2 days after that? Following Monday or Tuesday?
All right, Norma, put it on October 7th. And Norma, what page is he on? All right, thank you. And state on Gallardo, if you can prepare a acknowledgement of discovery, please.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
It's gonna just.
All right, are you all ready on John Magallanes now?
Yes.
I still don't understand why that keeps popping up. It shouldn't pop up. Norma, can you pull up John Ruben Magallanes? For some reason, when I put it in, he keeps coming up as Dominique. Maybe the system is. Yes. And what keeps popping up is Mark Dominique Montez. It's a drug case. It's closed.
It's obviously doing something weird. They're
Ah,
so he only has that one.
all right, thank you.
So they're trying correct.
So you do know Mark Dominique Montez, though? Okay.
Could it be Judge of the night, Magna Bridge popping up, because I've had that happen with popping 2 cases.
I have no idea. It's $3.99, yeah. He says he doesn't know. He doesn't know his co-defendant. How quickly we forget. All right, court is calling night mag number 7376442, State of Texas versus John Ruben Magallanes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Esparza, State of Texas.
Defense.
Tony Polreese filling in for John San Heinrich on the defense.
Are you John Magallanes? All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. Do you have any objection to this attorney standing in? You can lower your hand. You're gonna have to speak up.
Sorry.
That's okay. Use the bass in your voice. Speak up so the court reporter can hear, all right? All right, so the court is in receipt of a motion to set bond. State, have you had a chance to review the document?
Yes, Judge.
Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, set the bond at $5,000 to add in the condition of no firearm ownership. And there were 2 new cases that he was rearrested on, so we were just gonna add in, there's a no harmful or injurious contact order with Raquel Magallanes. And then
And how you spell the first name?
Raquel, that's how it's spelled in the condition on this year.
Okay,
And then a no contact order with Christy and Alanis. And Christy is Kristy.
I'm sorry, A-R-I.
Kristy. And then it's Ann, A-N-N.
Mhm.
And then Alanis is A-L-A-N-I-Z.
All right, and that no harmful or injurious contact, what is that? What is the offense?
So it's terroristic threat family, that's both of the offenses, Judge. That was the condition that was in the misdemeanor.
Okay. Well, what I can tell you is conditions in this court with regards to the terroristic threat, I do no contact orders. And if they want to have contact, then people need to come in. Because part of my job in setting bonds, one is to protect the community and make sure the conditions are appropriate for him to be successful on bond. So, have you ever used any drugs in the past?
No, ma'am.
So this possession less than a gram case state, maybe you need to look at that because he's never used drugs in the past. So you're telling the court, you never used marijuana, never used cocaine, never used methamphetamine.
I found it in my work truck. And I had
No,
it
no,
in
no,
my-
I don't want to get into the facts of the case.
Sorry.
So you've never used any,
I've tried marijuana. That's it.
and are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Land surveying. I'm a crew chief.
All right. Do you have any children?
3,
What are their ages?
11, 10, and 6.
All right. And what is your relationship to Raquel Magallanes
That's my wife,
and Christy and Alanis?
ex-wife.
Okay. And do you have other family in San Antonio?
Yes,
Who would be your other family?
my brother, Esteban Magallanes. My father, Esteban Magallanes. Sister, Leticia Magallanes. My mom, Melinda Bentacur.
All right. Anything else from either side? Any other questions?
No, Judge, other than just requesting again that the court consider a no harmful injuries contact as opposed to no contact order so that he may return home and to match the misdemeanor.
All right, here's the thing. I don't know what was heard in the misdemeanor court. I know that sometimes people come up with an agreement because maybe the complainant no longer wants to press charges, but I don't do that here because I think that's a very dangerous thing to do sometime. So for me to consider doing a no harmful or injurious contact, I need to know something else about that. So if they want to come in to speak to me about that, then they can. If they want to do it by Zoom, I'm sure the state will have no objections. If you want to talk with family violence, because that's the family violence section, maybe they can give me some more information about this terroristic threat.
Yes,
But for now, it's going to be, I'll follow your agreement, a $5,000 bond. There's to be no firearm possession. There's to be no contact with Raquel Magallanes or Christy Ann Alanis. And there's to be regular UAs, and I'll ask that the fees are waived. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further on this case, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And you can talk to the family violence prosecutors over there about the misdemeanor issues.
I will. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Cesar Gutierrez. Hello, John, how's it going? Do you think the Magnolias are going to be great for the following
I think
season?
they almost have to be unless we just have no rain between now and May.
All right, everyone, please whisper. Yes.
If we have no rain between now and May, then they're gonna be terrible. But if we have virtually any rain,
They'll be okay.
they'll be great.
All right.
Is that your mother yesterday?
Hmm?
Was that your mom?
No, that was a lady who, Pauline, who was visiting from Missouri,
Okay.
Miss Pedalford or Pettyford. Yeah. So you know what? But she's encouraged me to take a train ride. You know, I always wanted to do a train
Oh,
ride.
yeah.
So she told me there's something called a railway pass where you can have 10 on and off.
And my wife and I, when we came back from Majerot,
Mhm.
Majerot or Kwajalein, we, with the kids, we rode, we got basically a cabin at the back of one of the passenger cars. We had both sides of the train, bunk beds, the
Oh,
whole thing.
wow.
It was wonderful.
Oh, yes, I'm going to do it. So on this one, the state was to re-indict. Am I understanding the case
They
was
did.
re-indicted?
And they did. And the last time we were here, we got notice of that and got a copy of it. We're ready.
All right, what is the new cause number?
I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, they would have given a new cause number, correct?
I don't know, Your Honor.
All right, because I'm unsure. This is not. All right, Yaya?
Yes.
On Cesar Gutierrez, they say this case has been re-indicted. So there should be another case number out there. Let me see. So we should have another file. It was indicted on September 6th. Let me see if we can find it. Because the case number I have right now is not the new indicted number. Let me see if I can put. I'm sorry? Oh, so, oh, -2. Wow, that's how they do it now?
I didn't even notice the -2. I just thought it was the
So
same
do we
number.
have do we have? I don't have that. I don't have the indictment for that. Has he been served with it?
I was given a copy of it by Andrew, yes, last time we were here.
All right, thank you. And then it is saying when I go to Odyssey,
The only difference is that it changed it from after 5 years from getting off paper to during that 5-year period.
I'm just gonna see if it pulls up anything in Odyssey. So what I need then is I need an acknowledgement of discovery done under the new case number. So
Okay,
we need that. And then the offer is the same, state?
the same offer.
That's
yes,
correct,
we
Your
have. I've conferred with my client on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And how long do you expect the trial to last?
2 days,
Okay,
and that depends on how long we spend picking a jury and whether we start evidence the same day or not.
okay. Norma, I need a jury trial date, 2 days. Yes. It should be a very quick trial. Do you want to put it on the 16th? All right. So September 16th,
Sure.
and you'll probably be with Judge Angelini.
Oh, good.
Okay.
No more wishy-washy.
All right, and if you could, once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. I always tell people, not everybody has a suit and tie, and that's fine. But if you wear a shirt, wear some pants. I used to always tell my client, just wear clean clothes if you can. If not, I will get you some, but otherwise, you're dressed appropriately.
My line was, I want a collared shirt and long sleeves. They usually have tattoos.
All right, well, he's gonna take care of your collared shirt. All right, thank you, John. Once you get the reset form, you're excused.
All right, do you want us to submit the,
Acknowledgement of discovery.
also?
All right, thank you. All right. Officer Valdez, thank you so much for zooming in on such short notice. You guys are always so great about that. I really appreciate it. Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm so sorry, of course, Judge.
Thanks. All right, so this is Marlon Daniels. There was an issue that he was locked out of the device. And I've been tendered documentation that the person who drives is his daughter, and the reason for the lockout is that she was giving birth.
Yes, Judge, I was made aware.
All right, so are you okay with continuing him with the same conditions?
Yes, of course, Judge. I haven't had any previous violations for the defendant.
All right, and state, do you have any objections to continuing the same conditions?
No, Judge, the only thing I approached Mr. Sharman about was whether or not scram would be appropriate. His daughter is gonna have a newborn child, again, having the issue of getting it calibrated with the newborn.
That may be an issue.
And that's what I talked to counsel about. I mentioned it to my client. And he's willing to do whatever the court thinks is best on that. He doesn't want this to happen again.
All right.
But I suggest there would be choices, maybe a PAM or a scram, whatever the court thinks is appropriate.
Well, here's one of my issues. And I don't take any of this as true because I haven't had any facts of the case. So the only thing I'm going on is what the charges are and what they say the charges are. My concern is, I know he says he's not going to drive, but sometimes people will drive, and I just don't want anyone driving a vehicle without ignition interlock on it. And if that were to happen, to me, you say he's not driving. I don't see why he can't blow into the vehicle, but he just is not allowed to drive.
Yes,
And does this have a camera to the vehicle?
should, yes.
So if there's a camera on it, I don't see why he can't blow into it, but he's just not allowed to drive it.
Yeah.
And if he's driving it, then we're gonna have an issue, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just giving you the slight leeway of you blowing into the vehicle because your daughter's just given birth. And I understand. Deputy Laura, we have infants and children. Sure. On this case? Yes. Marvin
He's the
Davis.
bail bondsman.
Oh, he's the bondsman?
He's a bail bondsman. He's a lawyer bondsman.
Okay. Well, I do know Carlos is a bondsman, but if you're the person who's hired on it, just make sure that it's written down for that. Because sometimes what they'll do, whoever makes the bond, if they're an attorney, they put them down as an attorney.
Yes, I've started to deal with that.
All right, so if you'll correct that with Ms. Ferguson. All right. All right, so what we'll do is then I will continue you with the same conditions. Ms. Officer Valdez, you're telling me that there have been no prior violations and state you have no objection to continuing with the same conditions.
No, Judge, we were just suggesting just an alternative to help.
All right. All right, is there anything else?
The question is, you want him to blow into the device?
Well, that's between him and his daughter. He's still not allowed to drive, but either he can blow into the device or his daughter can blow into the device. I mean, the main reason that the ignition interlock is on the vehicle is to make sure that he is not driving intoxicated or with alcohol in his system. I realize he's not driving and he said he won't drive, but just as added safety for the public, the ignition interlock is on the vehicle because he's at the residence.
So I didn't hear you say that he had to blow in on a regular basis at all.
Whatever the previous blow-in was for his daughter, whatever rules there were set, that's what he has to abide by. And he can talk to his pretrial services officer concerning that. You have her number?
I do.
All right, so before you leave here today, be sure to give her a call. She'll await your call and she can tell you how many times your daughter had been blowing into the vehicle and how many times you'll have to blow. So it won't be another lockout.
Okay.
All right, do you have any other questions about anything? Yes.
Judge, sorry, the only thing that I was just thinking about, so it's because it needs to be calibrated, while his daughter, how old is the child? A couple days old?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is she gonna be able to take it to get recalibrated? That's just the only question the state has.
Oh, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's gonna have to be recalibrated.
Yes.
I'm sure she can maybe they'll work out a time with her where she's not gone for a long time.
And there may be another member of the family who could do that as well.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. No, I like that you're thinking of issues that may arise. All right, is there anything else?
That's all we have to.
All right, thank you so much for addressing appropriately for court and be sure to call Officer Valdez.
Will do, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jesse Arriaga. So my understanding, you all have. So my understanding, you have all of the discovery?
Judge, we were reset in the past to look at CPS records. We've just now started doing that. And we signed a protective order just the other day and they're gonna give us some copies. So we're in the middle of all that.
All right.
Just about there.
So have the CPS records been turned over?
They've been turned over. There are some counseling records that we received last week. Defense came over, not defense, Victoria Cruz came over to review the records last week. We will be making them accessible to e-discovery today, but they've been provided to defense for it. An offer has been tendered as well.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Set this for the second week in October for a plea deadline date, please. It's Jesse Arriaga. All right, on October 8th, you need to let the court know whether or not you've come to an agreement. That will be your last date to do so. After that, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you'd have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
Once you sign the reset form, you're excused, and defense, if you'll sign the acknowledgement of discovery.
I will do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Okay.
I'm just giving you.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Good morning, Your Honor. We have filed a joint motion to continue on this case. I understand that it's getting a little old in the court's concerns about the delays. Mr. Robinson shares the same delays, but we have some discovery that we've been alerted to. There is the lead investigator in this case apparently has been investigated and terminated for.
All right, so now you all know that. So that's something that you all have next.
So we requested the records because we didn't have any other records from her, from the Internal Affairs Department. We did receive some of the records yesterday. I will be providing those to defense today so they can review. In addition to that, I discovered last Friday when I spoke with one of the lieutenants from Church PD that there was a separate investigation conducted by the city. The city hired an independent agency to conduct an investigation outside of Church PD. Those are the records that we're still missing. So today, the lieutenant is supposed to come back and let me know if who the contact person is to receive those records. I'm not sure if it's Church HR or if it's the city manager's office or if it's the independent agency that has those records. But I should be getting an answer today as to who's going to be the person that we would be issuing subpoena.
All right, tell them you need an answer by 10:30. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Rodney Patterson. All right, and this is Criminal Trial Division. All right, so where are we on discovery?
Actually, Judge, we're only here to set up on a motion to set bond.
Ah, a motion is set
It
bond.
was a bond publisher from a while back. Andrew and I have conferred and he's recommending 20,000 and we're in agreement.
Well, I mean, it was a bond, his bond was revoked for what reason?
He missed a court hearing, Judge. But Mr. Patterson, after I've had a chance to visit, I'm the new attorney on the case.
All right, so could you, I don't have a copy of the motion. Do you have a copy of the motion?
I'm sure that I didn't, my bag's in another court because I'm supposed to pick a jury in about 30 minutes.
All right, if you could have the clerks,
I
they'll
can
probably
one.
create. All right,
And I'll bring it back, Judge.
okay,
One
sure.
second.
Just have to.
Okay.
Renee Signs, is he in custody or on bond? Renee Signs. Come forward. Hello, hi. Thank you for dressing appropriately for trial. All right. Ms. Ferguson. On this case, your attorney is in a jury trial in another court. So of course you can't be in two places at the same time.
Yes.
In the words of the poet. All right, so Ms. Ferguson, recall this for the 24th. He should be done with trial by then. Yes. All right, and once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're welcome.